Okay, I have already uh, gouged almost down to the line, and now what I'm going to be doing is trying to gradually work from the outside up more gradually towards the center of the bounce. I'm not going to touch the gouge to the very edge because I don't want to go below the edge line, but just gradually working up towards the center of the bounce. It's not going to be anywhere near the final product, but you basically kind of start flat on the outer, I don't know, 20 millimeters border and gradually slope up towards the center, but the bounce tend to be somewhat flat in the lower parts of the bounce and gradually rising up towards the center. But again, it's not going to be anywhere near, because right now I have the plate thickness to 17 millimeters, where ultimately it will end up being 14 millimeters at the very end, high in the center. But I want to kind of get the gradual shape somewhat started. Later you use finger planes and scrapers to finite it and then to match the arching templates that you have. But right now it's just kind of a general shaping. Being careful not to go too far. I'm leaving out the C-bounce right now because they're trickier, because the grain goes every which way on the C-bounce and you have to be very careful. And there's more of a rise from the edge towards the center in the C-bounce. It's not gradual like in the lower bout and the upper bout. Right now I think I'm using maybe a 520 or a 622. 5 is a little bit shallower than the 6. 6 is a little bit more of a scoop, and then the 7 is even more of a scoop. I already did one side, the side that's facing, and here are the templates that later on I will use. I place one end of the template at the center line, and there are 5 templates, one for the middle of the bouts, one for the C bout, and one for just near the corners. So a total of 5. But that comes much later because you're nowhere near close. But I want to make sure, especially on this upper bout, that I do it very carefully, because on my last Guarneri Plowden, what I did was I ended up doing it too aggressively, and I ended up with kind of the section that I'm doing now too flat, and there was no way I could really remedy it, so I started a new top. So I'm going on this one very slowly, very gradually. Slower is better. Gradually is better. But I'm also, I think, getting better at using the gouge and knowing which direction to go with the grain, and how to sharpen the gouges and so on. Before I started today, I sharpened the gouges on my Tormek and honed them on the leather wheel on the Tormek. And what helps is that I have the diamond stone on the Tormek now, which doesn't develop any concave spots from using it as a ceramic. I think it's ceramic. Ceramic one does. The diamond wheel will never need to be trued. It's always perfectly flat. So after I've gone up from the sides, I always have kind of a pointy area in the middle because I'm gouging from both sides towards the center. And so now I'm trying to kind of flatten that middle section. And ultimately I'll use that template. That's called the sixth, the long arch. And but that's a long time from now.